Welcome to episode 9 of the Reckoning season finale, The Healing. They pulled her from the chair. They carried her through corridors designed to erase everything she was. They brought her home. But home, they learned, is not a place. It is a feeling. And Elara had forgotten how to feel. The ghost freighter drifted in the black between stars, its crew alive but fractured. Lena's scream had saved them. But some silences cannot be broken by sound alone. Some silences require a different kind of touch. Elara, mentally ruined, lay on the medical cot, her eyes open but seeing nothing. Her short, messy hair was matted. Her alluring hazel eyes, once so sharp, so alive, were hollow, vacant, fixed on a point only she could see. Lena sat beside her, holding her hand. Marcus stood in the doorway, watching, helpless. Rowan, the empath, kept her distance. The weight of Elara's emptiness was a gravity that pulled at her own mind. "She's in there," Lena whispered. "I know she is. I felt her. When I screamed, I felt her reach back." Rowan's violet-gray eyes were soft, pained. "She's buried, deep." They didn't just take memories. They took the connective tissue between them. "She's a library with all the books scattered on the floor." Marcus's voice was rough. "So what do we do?" A long silence. Then Lena looked up. "We call the one person who understands how to put broken things back together." They didn't have a frequency. They didn't have a location. They had only one thing: the memory of a crystalline tear in reality, and the knowledge that certain transactions leave traces. Lena held the data crystal from the Dryad, the one that had held the selection archive. She placed it in Elara's limp hand and closed her fingers around it. "If you're in there," she breathed, "call her. Call the one person who might understand." For a long moment, nothing. Then, a flicker. Elara's fingers twitched. The crystal pulsed with faint light. And in the corner of the medical bay, the air screamed. The crystalline portal tore open, geometric, impossible, cold. And through it stepped the Mender. Her short silver hair was perfect. Her light blue eyes swept the room, assessing, cataloging, seeing. Her jeweled pendants caught the dim light. Her chrome filaments were retracted, waiting. She looked at Elara, and something shifted in those cold eyes. A flicker, the barest softening at the corners. "You called," she said. Lena stepped forward. "Can you heal her?" The Mender tilted her head. "Heal is a word for fixing what is broken. She is not broken. She is scattered." She sat on the cot, her movements fluid, unhurried. Her filaments extended, not aggressively, but curiously. They hovered over Elara's face, her temples, her chest. "May I?" The Mender's voice was soft, almost gentle. Lena nodded. The filaments touched Elara's skin. The filaments did not probe. They listened. The Mender's eyes closed, the first time any of them had seen her without that cold, watchful gaze. Her filaments pulsed with soft light, tracing the neural scars at Elara's temples, following them down along her neck, disappearing beneath the collar of her hoodie. Elara's breath caught. Her hollow eyes flickered. "There," the Mender breathed. "You are still there." The filaments moved lower, tracing the scars along her collarbone, toward her chest. The Mender's hand, her chrome hand, reached out and gently pulled the zipper of Elara's gray hoodie down, just slightly, just enough to reveal the scars beneath. Elara's skin warmed beneath the touch. Her eyes, for the first time, focused on the Mender's face, on those light blue eyes that held no judgment, no demand, only witness. "You're real," Elara whispered, her voice cracked, raw. "You're really here." The Mender's lips curved, the closest she had ever come to a smile. "I am here because you called." The others withdrew, sensing that this was not a moment for witnesses. In the dim light of the medical bay, the Mender sat beside Elara, her filaments still connected, still listening. "You are not a file," the Mender said. You are not data. You are a woman who was unmade by those who feared what you could build. That fear is not your shame. It is their confession. Then a moment, Elara's beautiful eyes filled with tears, the first she had shed since Oubliette. I don't know who I am anymore. They took so much. The Mender leaned closer, her forehead almost touching Elara's. Then we will discover together. I have spent centuries observing. Perhaps it is time I participated. Her filaments pulsed softly, and Elara felt something she hadn't felt in days. Warmth, connection, the sense that she was not alone in the dark. The Mender's filaments withdrew, but her hand remained. Her thumb traced a slow, gentle line along Elara's cheek, brushing away a tear. Elara's hand lifted, weak, trembling, and covered the Mender's. Their fingers interlaced. Why? Elara whispered. Why do this? You don't do anything without a transaction. The Mender was quiet for a long moment. When she spoke, her voice was softer than any of them had ever heard it. Perhaps this is my transaction. Perhaps I have been observing for so long that I forgot what it felt like to be part of something. She paused. Perhaps you are not the only one who needs healing. Elara pulled her closer. Not with demand, with need. The Mender allowed herself to be pulled. They lay together on the narrow cot, bodies curled toward each other, foreheads touching. The Mender's silver hair mingled with Elara's dark waves. Elara's hand, tentative at first, began to explore. She traced the line of the Mender's jaw, the edge of her metal collar, the geometric fusion lines along her collarbone. The Mender's eyes closed, leaning into the touch, the first time she had ever been touched this way. You're beautiful, Elara breathed. Beautiful. The Mender's lips curved, that almost smile. But when you say it, I think I feel it. Elara's hand drifted, brushing the edge of the Mender's camisole. She paused, eyes asking permission. The Mender nodded. Barely, but yes. The Mender's breath caught. Her filaments flared with soft light. Are you a woman everywhere? Elara hesitated. The Mender's eyes opened, soft, almost amused. She took Elara's hand, gently guided it lower. Elara's eyes widened, then softened with wonder. You're real, she whispered. All of you. The Mender's voice, barely audible. I am learning to be. Their faces hovered inches apart. Hearts, one organic, one mechanical, finding a shared rhythm. Elara closed the distance. The kiss was soft, a question more than an answer. The Mender had no frame of reference for this. No data, no observations, no preparation. Her lips moved against Elara's, learning, feeling. When they parted, Elara's eyes were wet. I didn't think I'd ever want this again. To be touched, to be seen. I see you, all of you. You are here now. That is enough. They kissed again, deeper now, more certain. The Mender's filaments wrapped gently around Elara, holding her, connecting. Not as tools, but as arms. The night deepened around them, but in that small room, time had stopped meaning anything. The filaments became extensions of the Mender's awakening desire, tracing, teasing, loving. For Mender, it was a beginning, it was an unraveling. For Elara, it was healing. They lay tangled together, breath slowly returning to normal. A thin sheet covered them, but neither was hiding. Elara's head rested on the Mender's chest, listening to the rhythm beneath the fusion lines, a heartbeat she had helped create. The Mender's filaments wrapped gently around her, pulsing softly, unwilling to let go. The Mender's voice, barely a whisper. I did not know, all those centuries of watching, and I did not know. Then Elara lifted her head, met those light blue eyes, now soft, vulnerable, alive. Know what? The Mender's lips curved. A real smile, small but unmistakable. What it felt like to be held. Elara kissed her, soft and slow. Now you know, and you're never going back. Outside, the stars drifted past. Inside, two beings, one broken, one untouched. held each other in the dark. The healing had begun. In the corridor outside, Lena leaned against the wall, her orange eyes soft. Marcus stood beside her, silent. "She's going to be okay," Lena said. "She's not alone." But elsewhere on the ship, not everyone was at peace. In a shadowed corridor, Rowan stood alone, her long red hair dimmed, her violet-gray eyes closed. Her filament-wrapped hands pressed against the wall. She felt something, distant, vast, alien. Her eyes snapped open. "There's something coming," she whispered to no one. In the underbelly of the ship, Sora sat in darkness, her chrome prosthetic dimmed, her dark amber eyes fixed on nothing. Her katana rested across her lap. A single data crystal pulsed on the console beside her, a contract, unopened. She was waiting. For what? Even she didn't know. And somewhere, far beyond the reach of any map, in the cold depths of space, something ancient stirred. The machine had learned to feel. The ghost had learned to trust. And for one brief, beautiful moment, the universe held its breath. But the universe does not pause forever. Somewhere, in the cold depths of space, something ancient had noticed. Somewhere, a blade waited in silence. Somewhere, a red-haired woman felt a shiver she could not explain. And somewhere, far beyond the reach of any map, the collectors watched. The healing had begun, but the reckoning was far from over. A single image, darkness. Then, 3 silhouettes. Too tall, too thin. Violet light pulses behind them, illuminating impossible faces. They do not move. They do not need to. A voice, not spoken but felt. The scattered ones have found each other. Interesting. The light slowly fades. We will observe. Thank you so much for watching our Season 2 finale, The Healing. Each character looks forward to Season 3. You can help us by liking, sharing, and subscribing.